Picacho Peak. You first hike up to that saddle in the middle, then you go on the back side, wrap around the back side. It is May 6th, and it is 54 degrees. And like, this could be the middle of winter here. Well, there's the peak. And I am starting off here at 5:33 in the morning. We're going up to this saddle. That'll be half, or actually a little over half the battle getting up. So it does get steep. It just ramps up. So anyway, I'm sure there's actually only one other guy who hasn't started. I might have the peak to myself, we'll see. Anyway, I'll check in. I'm not carrying any water. I think I will be fine. So check in later. Well, the sun's already up at 5:40 or whatever it is. The sun comes up early. Ugh. It is steep, you know, rugged, rocky terrain. It's a lot of big steps. I guess it is. At least this part is steeper than Camelback. Whoop. I already somehow got off trail briefly, but it's well marked and it's obvious if you're actually paying attention, which I wasn't. So anyway, we're about probably 400 feet up, give or take, maybe a little more, maybe pushing 500. Yeah, definitely be going up, up, up. So we are, you know, maybe halfway up to the saddle. It's gonna be up. We're gonna wrap here, and then you can't see it, it's up over this. So it does get better. I think this beginning part, I think this is half a mile. According to that rock, we've already gone half a mile. So who knows if that's true or not, but we're making good progress. We're about to hit the saddle. It's been 17 minutes. It's a pretty good time, I think. Helps I don't have a pack. Not really running, but I'm definitely power hiking. So we might be like a mile up. I'm not totally sure. Maybe a little less. Here's the saddle. It's looking east, right in the sun. Here's looking west. I'm not sure what any of these peaks are, but yeah, now we have to drop actually. So I'm gonna take a picture first, but we have to drop several hundred feet down a rocky slope, and we wrap around the back side. There's some chains. There's some cool little sections on cliff faces. Not treacherous, but anyway, so I'll check in when I'm going up those. I might as well show you this descent on this rock. There's a chain. I banged my head on one of these rocks one of the times I did it, and it really hurt. I didn't bring the gloves. I thought about it. They're actually in the car, but I didn't want to put them in my pocket and have them fall out. So anyway, some fairly steep rockiness. The chain is not, you know, it's not actually a chain, but not actually needed, but it's somewhat helpful, especially when you have a GoPro in your hand. On the way up, it's a little easier. But you can see we have to drop pretty far down, which is annoying because obviously on the way back up you have to regain it. So this is some of the total gain, is this, you know, probably a couple hundred feet if I had to guess. It's a lot. Anyway, I'm just using the using my ropes here. Ah, we've hit the bottom. That was at least 200 feet. That might have been like a 250-foot descent. So yeah, now we're sort of on a narrow cliff edge. There's some fences sometimes to keep you from falling off the edge, because it does get pretty narrow. It's sort of like cut into the cliff. Like here it's fine, but it gets pretty where you're walking on like a 2-foot wide strip of rock with just if the fence weren't there, you just fall off the edge. So they have some safety precautions in place. So we will start heading up again, and there are some places that have these chains, although going up you don't really need them. They're probably more helpful going down, I would say. So yeah, we're gonna gain, and we're probably over halfway to the summit, I would presume. So yeah, working our way up this backside. We're still below the saddle elevation, but we'll go over there, and then at some point there's like a vertical chain section, and we'll work our way up this cliff, and then it'll be a dirt slope at the end. Just so you can see what you're dealing with. We've got to work our way up these rocks, and there's cables, but the trail's pretty much sort of blasted into the rock, so to speak. It could be natural. I don't think it is, but not ideal with the camera in my hand, but this is nice sturdy rock. See, here's what I'm talking about, like the sort of narrow sections, like to make sure no one falls off. You know, it's not very wide right here, so they have this little fence. I suppose you could fall off under it, but it's nice sturdy rock and chains, and hopefully my keys or my phone don't tumble out. These aren't the deepest of pockets. Should have thought about that. Oh well. Anyway, sorry, without this on my head, I'm not getting the best shots. I think we're about to get back on dirt for a little bit. Yeah. So now we're gonna work our way up to this saddle up here, and then the summit's right up there. So yeah, that was a little rocky section. Now we're back on trail. Work our way up here. There's another sort of more vertical, sort of like that chain section, and then you know, we're 2/3 to 3/4 of the way up, I think. So I will check in. We're gonna contour around here, go up there. So here's our sort of vertical rock chute. I actually came down, it was so crowded, I came down on the side before, and I don't think even touched the cables. You know, they're a little helpful. I wouldn't say they're needed. Gloves would be a little more, make my hands feel a little better, but it's fine. The rock's very steppy, so it's not that critical to use the you can find yourself the right holds. All right, we've cleared that, whatever that was, 30-foot vertical section. Still some cables here. Some sort of, oh look, got a motor eye, whatever you call that. I forget what that's called. When you have a motor attached to you. I don't know. We are getting up there. Yeah. The summit, I mean, a little, you can't really see it. It's up there a little higher. But we don't have that much more to go. So I'll check in on the summit. GoPro's acting up again. These are some of the sections. You know, just some narrow sections, but there's a hand line, and it's not too bad. The summit's up there, so I probably should have gone straight up there. I went over to that point the first time I did this. So the first time I did this was before I lived here. I was down here for a work thing, actually, and I hiked Camelback for the first time the morning, the first day I was here, like early at like 5 in the morning, and I did Flatiron and part of Boulder Canyon, and I'm just gonna go straight up here. And I also did Picacho Peak and Wasson Peak and checked out the University of Arizona. So just for a couple days. I mean, I was actually here for like 4 days, 2 for work, and then I stayed the weekend. Pretty much just slept in the car that weekend, I believe. But yeah, so we're almost up. I'll just check in on the summit here in about 1 minute. Summit, Picacho Peak. That only took 38 minutes to get up. So maybe that 1.4 miles is right, because that's not 15-minute mile terrain by any means. So, although it could be closer to 2 and that could have been 19-minute miles, but anyway, we're up. We got it to ourselves. A little quicker than I remembered, anticipated, but that's good. We'll be down at the car in 30 minutes or so, and we'll be on to our next destination, which is Wasson Peak, which you can see out, like the furthest one out in the distance. I can't easily point to it. It's sort of hazy out there, but it's that high peak that you see way out there, not the closer ridge. Those are the Catalinas that you see out there, the prominent, like sort of rounded flat ridge. That's Mount Lemmon. So, and I've never hiked. I've read about this. You can scramble up this. There's not a trail, but my car, it's hard to get there. Although I should just park like here and like walk over there, but yeah, it's hard to get there if you want to drive close. So I'll take a couple pictures and then I will skedaddle out of here and probably not record at all on the way down. So Picacho Peak, got it to myself. Beautiful day. It feels unbelievable.